heard that.
Actually,
I don't believe that. I'm going to tell everybody.
Good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286. Patricia and David looking out on an absolutely disgusting evening here. I presume it's like this pretty much from the top of the North Island and certainly down further. We've had a couple of fronts go through and it is horrible looking. Currently it is 15 degrees. The barometer is plunging, 1008, 15 knots of northeasterly. Rain, of course, and 100% cloud cover, needless to say. Actually, the wind has been all over the show here today. Started off from the south and very complicated weather pattern, and I suspect our Sugar Shack and the Magic Dragon are going to confirm a bit of a movement in the wind direction and speed, but boy, it's just miserable outside. I'm going to the format tonight. I'm going to just do a couple of bits of news and then pass it to David, and then we'll pick up the boats. I wanted to tell listeners, particularly those that are New Zealanders and those of you who are coming back at the end of the year, there's been quite an interesting movement from the Fisheries organisation. I don't know what the Maori name is for it, but anyway, the Fisheries Ministry. And it's a really staggering proposal that has come, needless to say, from the various Maori trusts in the area of Great Barrier Island and the nearby islands. The guts of the proposal is that there will be no fishing for crayfish, paua or scallops within 3 nautical miles of Great Barrier, Little Barrier, the Mokahina Islands, and Simpson Rock and Horn Rock. So that is the proposal, that there will be a 2-year moratorium on any collection of those items between quite a big area. So it is a proposal at this stage, but given the fact that it is supported by these Moturehi Marae Trust and the Ngāti Rehua Ngāti Wiai Aotea trusts, if you could work that one out, it is likely to go ahead unless there is some significant angst from various people. You can make a submission. I have all the details, the email address. They prefer email if you want to make a submission against, or in fact for, if you're really for it. The submission are due to go in before Monday the 21st of August. So that is the submission, the proposal for banning the harvesting of scallops, paua and rock lobster 3 miles outside of Great Barrier, Little Barrier, Mokahinas, Simpson Rock and Horn Rock. So let me know if you want the details to make a submission. Okay, then there's some good news from Jonathan C. Mercy. You remember I asked for anyone to keep a lookout for the vessel Yasukoli. It left Mexico, La Paz, April 14th and hadn't been seen since. But it meandered in last Friday, June the 30th, to American Samoa. So a very, very long time. It was a 78-day passage. According to the skipper, there was no gear failure or any other problems. It just was a slow trip. 78 days. That is indeed a slow trip. But he managed to, they had a highlight, evidently, when their catch, it was a 45-foot island trader catch. It became surrounded by hundreds of dorado. These dorado dolphins swam alongside the boat for days, evidently. So there you have it. They decided to bypass French Polynesia, apparently because of the weather, and took their 78 days to get to the first landfall. So that was a good happy ending. I've just been looking up a couple of boats today, just for your interest, those people that know them. We have Lupan is just rounding Kakadu to get to Darwin to proceed further north. Somerset is in Darwin, and Water Music left Darwin a few days ago and in fact has checked into Indonesia. It's quite a few boats going up that way, some of them with the rally, and which is actually very helpful because of the help they give with the rather difficult Indonesian customs and immigration to deal with. But anyway, there's quite a lot of movement for boats heading up that way now that all the restrictions for COVID have gone. Okay, I'm going to pass it to David now to see if he's made any sense out of all this confusion in the Southwest Pacific. Here he is.
Yep, good evening from me, and I don't have any comments on that proposal. It wouldn't be fit to give them over the air. Anyway, for those of you up in Fiji, I'm going to give a quick overview of what is going on up there. Well, you know what's going on up there because you're there. But anyway, for the rest of you, this is for northern Vanuatu waters and the Vatui Passage. These two areas have been rough for quite a few days now. Anyhow, southeast winds is the forecast, 20 to 25 knots. It's expected to ease 15 to 20 by tomorrow, but the seas are quite rough. And the continued outlook for that area, easterlies 15 to 20. And for the rest of Fiji, southeast 15 to 20, and moderate to rough seas and a moderate southerly swell. So there you go. Looking at most of the Southwest Pacific, we have a trough that runs clean through the Solomon Islands, almost to Rotuma. We have another one over the northern Cooks, another one from eastern Samoa down to the southern Cooks, and we have a quasi-stationary front that runs from practically New Zealand to Norfolk Island, and we have a cold front, rather aggressive cold front, that is east of Brisbane, goes right over Lord Howe Island. Now the high, which is between New Zealand and Fiji, is right, well, the center of it is pretty much over Raoul Island in the Kermadex, and it's about 1020 millibar, and that puts it at about 30 south, and pretty much the date line, I suppose. And it is rather squashed. We've got depressions to its east and depressions to its west. And New Zealand, of course, is under the most recent depression, and that's the one that's providing us with all this rain and so forth and so on. Not very nice, that's for sure. That's pretty much it for the general outlook. And with that, I'll give it back to the chief, and we'll haul in a couple boats, see what they've got, and I'll give a short forecast on that.
Okay, well, I hope they're all enjoying weather that's somewhat warmer than we have. Okay, let's start with Sugar Shack. Sugar Shack, this is Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, good evening. This is Matt and Christine on board Sugar Shack. We're just kind of trying a few things so we can keep wind in the sails, so it's not the best direction that we're heading, but here we go. We are at 28 degrees, 14 minutes south, 178 degrees, 10 minutes east. We're on a course of 075. Our boat speed is 6.2 knots. We have about 10 to 11 knots of wind from the north-northeast, and a lovely 1.5 meter swell from the same direction. We have approximately 318 nautical miles to go, 318, and all is well on board.
Boy, and you have a booming signal tonight. I keep meaning to ask you. In fact, I should look on the AIS to see if you've got a picture as to what antenna you've got, Christine. But good evening to you and that. 2814 South, 17810 East on a course of 075 true at 6.2 with a 10 to 11 knots, still north-northeast. It's interesting. The GFS looked as if it had switched you back a bit to the north-northwest, but not so. 1.5 roughly swell from the north-northeast and 318 nautical miles to go to Minerva. Okay, so yeah, just clarify the antenna situation because you have a superb signal tonight, Christine.
We have two very large ground plates and a 6-year antenna.
Well, that is interesting, isn't it? Because usually the whips don't do so well, but those two big ground plates certainly are helping and doing a great job. Here's David.
Yeah, okay, Christine. Boy, you do have a very good signal and a superb report. Your voice comes over very, very well. Good to hear it. Anyway, I put you tomorrow at lunchtime. I don't know where you're really going to be, but I put you at 26 south and about 179 east. Winds, though, look like they're going to pick up if you are there or near there. And I've got northwest 20 and gusts up to about 28 knots. And I'm looking at 3 models trying to blend them together. And that's about what we're looking at. So I guess be prepared for that, and it will be interesting to see what you really do get. And yep, you're closing in on Minerva. That's outstanding. Okay, well, that's my forecast for you, and I'll pass it back to the chief.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and yes, it will be interesting to see just when it comes in. Mind you, you've had a couple of days of catching your breath, so you'll be able to deal with that. And I'm sure we'll be seeing some pretty solid speeds from Sugar Shack tomorrow. Okay, let's go to the Magic Dragon. I'm sure the weather is much the same, but I would like course and speed, please, Josh. Good evening, over. Ooh, not very good. I'll just put the other antenna on. I don't know why it's not very good. Just check that you are on high power. But try again and give me the position a couple of times, over. Well, you faded away on me, or there's something wrong, it's just cutting in and out. I did get 2816, so you're very close to Sugar Shack. Better give me the longitude and course and speed, over.
Longitude 177, 117, 11, 48. Course 07332, sailing at 6.6 knots.
Okay, you're sailing, so 2816. Just give me the degrees in minutes because the rest of it will change so quickly. 177, we'll make it 12, and 073 true at 6.3 knots. So, yep, nice to be sailing, nice, decent, calm weather. And you would have heard David's report for the next 24 hours, over.
No, I've got more for you.
Oh.
Which is where?
Same as, yeah, he's right beside them.
We've got 4 weeks with
Northwest.
yeah, but still got a south well. Not sure about the ball translation, but my translation could be wrong. But I'm still on the side.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with the signal. It's just not all that easy to pick up. But I did hear that you, in fact, have, even though you're only a degree different from Sugar Shack longitude-wise, you do, in fact, have the northwest 12 to 14, which we're seeing on, well, at least the GFS model anyway. Could you just slow down and give me the essentials of what else you said? Over. Okay, I'm going to pass it to David because I am struggling with that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You were much better yesterday. A lot of muffling. It's really hard to comprehend what you're saying. But yeah, pretty much the same forecast as with Sugar Shack. Hopefully you got that. The only thing I was going to add for both of you, both boats, is that I'm looking at Minerva on Sunday. I talked to you before, both of you before, about the frontal band that's coming through. Still looks like it is, and it's predicted that the very tail end of it should hit Minerva about Sunday around lunchtime. There'll be cloud before that, of course. There's always cloud before and after the actual axis of the band. And wind should be, looks like they're going to be westerly, 20 and gusting up to 25. So that's a pretty good direction. Make it quite easy to get in the pass. So that's Sunday. And I don't think we have recorded the ETA for Minerva from either of you boats. So Josh, if you have an ETA, come now. Over.
Yeah, sorry, I think I need to screen up. I need to screen up. But yeah, ETA, just sometime during Sunday morning at 3, over.
Monday morning. No, it can't be Monday morning because it's, oh yeah, Monday morning.
Could you repeat the
Monday
day?
morning?
We're hearing Monday morning. Monday, is that correct? Over.
Sunday. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Sunday. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, then that is the weather that I just gave you from Minerva on Sunday at lunch. The wind is going to be fresh, definitely. And with the frontal band and the cloud and whatnot, the only thing to be concerned about really is the visibility. I'm sure you're all using your GPS and whatnot to make a track to come in, but there's always a lot of current there. If you've been there before, you would know. And anyhow, just be prepared for that. Now, the front may not amount to much at all. It is the tail end, fortunately. So we'll see what happens. We'll know more tomorrow when we talk to you. Okay. Anything else from you, Josh? Over.
Yeah, just wondering whether you have any recommendations, north Harbour or south Harbour.
Oh, well, that is a difficult question because I'm sure that there are proponents for both of those. We cannot tell you about South Minerva, although people that go in there really enjoy it. It's got very interesting diving and things. We've always gone into North Minerva, mainly because of just, when is daylight when you arrive type thing. And certainly North Minerva is great fun because of the reef that's around at low tide and the ability to get crayfish, which is not banned and not proposed to be banned on North Minerva. So yes, I think South Minerva is a little bit more sheltered if it's very, very swelly from the west. But I would, just from what I hear, and of course it's easier to get into North Minerva. You must do it in daylight through the pass. But yeah, I know I'm not much help to you because both of them are different and both are interesting. Over.
Just please don't enter at night.
Okay, thank you. we'll try and take some hot tables with you.
What you could do is try both and then rate them on different things. But do not go in at night time. So just like us, I think you'd have to work out when you're going to arrive at south, and then if it's dark, go to the north. So anyway, it looks like you're going to be arriving at a decent time anyway. Okay, we'll clear with the Magic Dragon and we'll go way west to Champagne, who is on their way from New Caledonia to Mackay. And just for your interest, Martin, you are about, I've just measured, 14 miles south-southeast of the other boat that's very close to you, a French boat called Cap de Mion, and doing about the same speed, although your speed at the moment is slightly higher, according to the AIS. Champagne, Gulf Harbour.
This is Champagne. Good evening, over.
Yeah, nice copy, Martin, and it looks like it's been rather a quiet day for you guys, but, well, you might be fishing or doing something interesting. Go ahead, over.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a quiet day. Beautiful day. At 0% cloud cover. Quite warm. We've been dipping our feet in the water, trying to cool down a bit. We haven't caught a fish yet. But anyway, we're doing well. We've been motoring actually at about 6 knots because there's no wind at all. There's probably about maybe 2 or 3 knots of wind. We're going about 245 course over ground, magnetic. Our position at the moment is 2209, 163.25. What else do you want to know? The wind direction, well, yeah, it's been all over the place, over.
Yeah, okay, Champagne having a very quiet day, not even gutting fish. Warm, 0% cloud cover. They're at 2209 south, 16325 east, and there's motoring at 6 knots on a course of 245 magnetic. And about 2 to 3 knots, well, we'll just put LAV, I think, just not much around. But I think David's got some good news for tomorrow.
I do, Martin, and yeah, you're doing well. Yeah, you're just about due east of Mackay, aren't you? That's pretty good. Well, anyway, I've moved you tomorrow by lunchtime. I could be wrong on this, but 22 and 161 east. And the good news about that, if you are in that neighborhood, is the winds look to be south, just like today, but 14 to 18 knots, I think. At least that's what the models think. Over.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, we're kind of waiting for something to happen. I think there's some sun's coming through, isn't there? So we're going to suddenly change, which would be nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. Wanted to ask you also, we're going to be passing by South Kai at the bottom of the Chesterfield sort of complex. I'm just wondering, is that somewhere where you can pop in and have a look and stop, or what? Have you ever been there, over?
Well, that is a tricky question at the moment because unless you've got the okay from the French, it used to be not a problem, and it's a very interesting area to go, especially if you're bird watchers. But it does require a permit from the French because it is quite a nature preserve or reserve. It is of course possible to risk it, but yeah, people do stop there, and it's really up to you. Over.
Okay, yeah, we've actually just been shown some information that we received here. So it's a national park. Whether you just allowed to just sail through it, you don't even stop. But yeah, we've actually been buzzed a couple of times with some sort of jet aircraft that keeps coming and flying well over us. I don't know. That might be the New Caledonian authorities keeping an eye over.
Yeah, well, that is interesting because I always remember one time we were in Uvea. There was 3 boats that were all Kiwi boats actually at the time. No, I think we still had the US. But anyway, there were 3 of us in Uveya, and they had the French, I think it was the Foreign Legion, or some. They arrived anyway, and there was quite a few of them, and they tromped up to us, and they knew exactly who we were. They knew exactly when we had to check out, and one of the boats only had about 2 days left to check out in Noumea. But there had been a helicopter fly over virtually every day that we were in the loyalties. They really, really knew where everybody was. Over.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really keeping an eye on us, so we better be careful. Anyway, I think we're going to be there very early in the morning. It might even be dark, so, it might not be too good. But anyway, we'll have a think about that, over.
Yeah, and if you're only there for a short time, I'm sure you could come up with a reason that you had to stop. By the way, what is your ETA in Mackay, Martin, over?
I think it's about 13th or 14th, so next Thursday, Friday.
Okay, we'll make it the 14th, just in case you have a day at Chesterfield. So, all right. Well, it sounds as if you'll be busy, the 2 of you, tomorrow. So have a good night, get your energy levels up, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Over.
Okay, well, thanks very much for everything, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye now.
Yep, cheers. Is there anybody else that wants to say hello or offer anything of information? This is Gulf Harbour Radio listening.
Contact Citizen.
Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
Hey, Patricia, I was wondering if I could have traffic with Magic Dragon after the net.
Yep, most certainly, and that would be about now, because I don't think there is anybody else on frequency. Everyone else is happily going from Tonga to the Bay of Islands, or just enjoying the weather conditions somewhat different from here. So I'll say good night to everybody, and we will call in again tomorrow at the same time. This is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear, and the frequency is in use with Sugar Shack and the Magic Dragon. Good night, all.
Thank you, Magic Dragon.